Compatible, Episode 3 on February 26, 2012. My name's Tony, and I'm joined, as always, by my fellow podcasters, Joe and Mark.
Yeah, me!
Now, today we actually have two firsts here on the Forward Compatible podcast. To start, we actually have a first live audience.
Yeah, go to the best!
And we also have our first ever guest host joining us. He's actually one of the original brains behind the podcast rolling out in the first place, and he's been with us from the beginning, but he's finally gracing us with his presence on the actual show. So, Jason, welcome to the show, and if you want to take a quick minute, introduce yourself, let us know your gamer tag, what you started playing on, current consoles you own, whatever you want.
Sure. Gamer tag is JAxel1147. Not to be confused with Jaxel, like everyone calls me.
I do that.
Yeah, everyone does. First console was the original Nintendo. Currently have an Xbox 360 and a PlayStation 3. And I'm currently playing City of Heroes on my Mac.
Oh my god, who the hell cares?
Like it.
Nerd.
We brought an Apple guy on for you guys. All right, we're also going to take a quick opportunity to go around the room, do a quick roundtable, let everybody know what we've been playing this week. So,
All right, I started playing Dear Esther and Alan Wake American Nightmare. I enjoy both.
Joe?
Started, so you got the Vita, so I've been playing a little bit of Golden Abyss, a lot of Dungeon Hunter.
Get it right.
You shut up, sir. And I also got Deus Ex because it was on sale for $10.
And I told him to.
And I was playing that this morning.
Because I told him to.
Shut up, Mark.
I was kind of a whore this week. I was on the Vita
Whore.
playing Uncharted.
Whore.
I was on my Xbox playing Assassin's Creed.
Whore.
I was on my Wii playing Skyward Sword.
Whore.
And I was on my
You gonna turn on your other
PS3.
system too? Yeah, he is.
Yeah, I got my first ever platinum because I care not for trophies.
I don't even know why you put pants on in the morning.
It was on Jack and Daxter. So that's what I've been doing this week.
All right, now we know. We know.
Yeah.
All right, well, now we can go on to the top 10 stories of the week. First one, kind of just a short one here. How Skyrim came up with the arrow in the knee line. Turns out they did a kind of a interview of this. Basically, it was a very last-second vocal add-in that would give the guards some more personality. I don't know how knowing that they've had arrows in their knees make them more personable, but it did make one of the biggest internet memes for, I don't know, this year.
Yeah,
Anything...
it was funny for 5 seconds. It's really overdone. It's funnier now. Like, I think I sent you guys that text, right?
Yeah.
The guy from The Walking Dead who's like, the next motherfucker who says arrow to the knee is getting a fucking arrow to the knee.
Norman Reedus.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
Nerd.
And? Isn't that the whole point?
No. We're here to be awesome. Oh,
All right.
fuck.
Next thing we got, NBA Live says they are coming back this year. I would like to say probably not to that because they said they were coming back 2 years ago, and then last second, while it was in stores, before it went on sale, they got pulled.
NBA Live, don't do it. It's a trap.
I was unaware they went away in the first
They
place.
were away for 2 years.
Don't forget they
I
changed their
don't-
name to NBA Elite first.
Yeah, I don't play basketball on video games. I don't know. I have no idea. I play NBA Jam. That's about it.
Woohoo.
Yeah.
I have 2K11 just because of Jordan.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Jordan's on 2K12, too.
Oh man, you got to upgrade.
2 years in a row.
Price dropped.
But it's
20
all
bucks cheaper.
Jordan in 2K11.
So?
I don't care about Magic Johnson or Larry Bird or
Whatever.
anybody.
Jordan's still there.
All right, Alan Wake this week went live on PC. It actually paid for its entire development cost, marketing, and the whole shebang within the first 48 hours. It was the top-selling game on Steam this week. There's a lot of bloggers who went on kind of a rant about this of why, basically mostly people were saying that, why isn't Red Dead on PC yet? And they were kind of bitching about
PCs
Rockstar.
are fucking retarded. That's why. Welcome to 2009 PCs. Jesus Christ, Alan Wake's old.
I agree PCs are retarded.
No, I just like giving these two shit because they're both like steaming at the ears right now, ready to sock me.
If this table wasn't here.
No, it's cool. It's good. Somebody else gets to experience that game. It's a good game, and it's good. It's good if you don't have an Xbox. Somebody else gets to play.
It was great. It was $30, and it came with all the DLC.
Yeah. Still no announcement for it ever coming to PS3, right?
Of
No. It's
What?
Microsoft.
Yeah, it was a Microsoft exclusive.
Alan Wake?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, never.
Never.
Rock on.
All right, next big story. Pokemon App Store scam.
I saw that.
Yeah. So apparently, Pokemon Yellow got onto the paid portion of the iTunes App Store, and well, the problem with that is that it wasn't uploaded by Game Freak or Nintendo, who are the actual legal owners of it. So this became the third top paid app of the week. While basically the game advertised it was the best thing since sliced bread. The users who actually bought it were basically pissed off, telling that the app was not working. Most said it didn't even launch, and they wanted their money back. And someone said that they were going to sue.
You know what else didn't launch? Facebook for the Vita.
Oh, that's also a good one too. For anyone who didn't get a Vita yet,
No,
they
it
launched
did launch,
Facebook
but they pulled
it.
Yeah, they pulled it right away because
It was broke.
Mm.
So first off, is uploader Daniel Buford in a world of trouble, or do you think this is going to fall more onto Apple?
Both.
Both.
I
I haven't heard any kind
Neither.
of.
I think it's just going to cause a little shitstorm on the internet, like most things do, and it'll quietly go away.
Yeah, I haven't heard any response from Nintendo or Game Freak about it, so I don't know what else they can do with it.
There's so many knockoff apps on the App Store as it is. Apple's not going to get in trouble for it. All you got to do is take the 2 seconds and read the reviews to realize that it's a scam,
Yeah.
and walk right past it.
Doesn't that one company, I can't think of it, Zynga or whatever, don't they make a living off ripping other people's games
Pretty
off?
much.
The whole company is, yeah.
That's the
They're
Farmville
just
people.
knockoff.
Yeah.
They just knock off other
But
people's
I mean,
games.
you can even get knockoff versions of, Microsoft Office and everything on there.
Open Office, woo!
And you just look you look at the publisher and it's not Microsoft, you kind of know something's up. Anyone with any intelligence whatsoever is going to know there's something not right here.
Yeah.
And just keep on walking
All right, rock
Except
on.
for the idiots who bought it.
to make it number 3.
Yes.
To make it nuts. There's a lot of idiots out there, apparently.
All right, next story. I got a few questions about it. This is going to kind of explain why Apple is in such trouble in China. Apparently, 39 different Chinese companies have tried to register iPhone and iPad trademarks in many categories. Apparently, Apple has not. Apparently, in China, you need to register your trademark in 45 different commercial categories. Apple only registered the iPhone for 14 categories and the iPad for 9. Basically, this led to many other companies, such as a belt and hiking shoe company, and even a flashlight company, to be allowed to call their products iPhone or iPad.
Why would you name a
The-
flashlight an iPhone?
I don't know. It seriously exists though in China.
This is the story that just won't go away.
No, it just every week just something new.
You would think Apple would be smarter than this.
They don't. You know how hard it is to know the exact patenting law of every single country that you're going to distribute to,
Hey,
though.
do research. One of the biggest corporations ever.
Yeah, I kind of have to blame them for not covering their ass on this one.
Yep.
This seems so
and-
excessive. 45 different commercial categories.
Hey, Apple boy, what do you have to say about
You would
this?
think they would know a little bit better, considering that part of the phone or anything is made there.
Yeah,
They would components of their major products are made in China. You'd think they'd have a little bit more sense.
But it also seems like they're not even in the same wheelhouse. What does a flashlight have to do with an iPhone or an iPad? It's not like they're both in the same. I don't even know how to
same
explain it.
ballpark.
Yeah, it's who cares?
You can use your light on your iPhone as a flashlight.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
there's a
that.
flashlight app.
You've also been able to do that on Android for a year before iPhone even had
my
a light.
Razor would do that. Okay.
All right, next story we got the indie game Dear Esther, which I was telling you guys I'm playing this week, sold 50,000 copies in its first week. If you don't know about Dear Esther, it used to be a Half-Life mod that kind of got picked up because it was pretty successful, and now they made $10. What's 10 times 50? $50,000.
10 times
You're the
50 is
one-
500.
You're the one with the fancy
500.
education, sir.
Well, no, so 100. I don't remember math. So yeah, basically buttload of money for a mod they made a long time ago.
Do you need a calculator?
Hell no.
That's the same
Actually,
way
it's on
Left
this
4 Dead
computer.
came about.
Dude, 50 times whatever it was equals buttload. Yes.
Yeah,
he was
buttload.
right on the nose.
He said 50 times 10.
Yeah, whatever it was. I don't
50
even remember
times
the numbers.
Yeah,
I'm just saying it. Nonetheless,
I meant 50,000
Yeah.
times $10.
Whatever.
You people work in retail?
Nonetheless.
Yeah,
it
the computer
equals
does
a
it all
buttload.
for me.
Tony doesn't
I do not work in retail
anymore.
anymore.
It lasted about 3 months.
No, whatever. It's not my fault.
All right, for all you Doctor Who fans, the Eternity Clock has been announced for the Vita and PSN release,
Shut up and take my money!
with a PC version releasing a little bit after that.
Exciting.
Exciting. Anybody
Exciting.
else?
I don't know.
Mikey over there is actually watching Doctor Who.
Oh yeah,
right
we're gonna
now.
have audience chime in. Audience?
Yeah, he's got headphones
Yeah, he
on.
fell asleep. That's how bad we are.
He's I don't know. They've been telling me get on watching this show for a long time. I haven't checked it out yet, but I've been meaning to, so I know nothing about it. But it does sound cool.
Yeah, I still haven't watched it myself either, even though I worked with Joe for like 6 months and heard about it every single day.
Yep.
Sounds like Joe.
Yep.
All right, for all you people who have been watching the Oklahoma video game tax bill, well, it was shot down. Basically, what the bill did was it was going to put a 1% tax on all games rated teen or over.
Yeah, which is like 80% of the video games out there.
Yeah, probably more than that.
This
almost.
just got shot down in California a few months earlier, and the states lose so much money going after this. It's another clear indication of how bored people are in the United States, that they go after just whatever because there's no real issues. So they just fight something just to fight it, and there's so many bigger issues at hand on whether or not a game is a little violent and if it should be taxed more because of it. It's stupid.
Yeah, that sounds very retarded.
The state of Illinois actually tried to pass a law where we couldn't even display M-rated games. We're supposed to have a black border in front of the game,
Jesus
so you couldn't
Christ.
even see the title of it.
See, but if any of these guys actually bothered to look into anything, they'd realize that the average gamer is actually 39 years of age. Like, there's still this thing, like, from the 80s where every video gamer is this little pimply kid sitting in his parents' basement, and he's, like, 12 years old. It's simply not the case. Majority of the gamers...
a lot of them, though.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of kids that play, but a majority of the gamers grew up playing like ourselves. We started when we were very young, and we all grew up with all these things, and we're still playing at an older age. The median went up significantly.
Joe, you got anything for this one?
I'm actually kind of shocked that the average is
Yeah, that seems really high. to me.
39. That seems high.
Yeah.
Google it. Google it. I just read this.
Okay. Do we have Googles?
Well,
got Googles.
considering when the video game boom initially started back in the mid-'80s, it would make sense.
All right, Medal of Honor Warfighter announced for October. Who's getting it?
I am. But I'm Googling, and I do want to talk about this.
All right.
Should we wait?
Come on, Google. God, my laptop sucks.
Because I know most games are targeted 18 to 35, but 39 seems a bit high.
Or 31, is it now? Now you guys are making me
It could be-
second guess myself.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
It's in the 30s. Google.
See, most of the time online, I just see, I don't know, it seems like they're 20s. For the most part, at least. That's what it sounds like.
Depending on
Well,
what
no,
you're
you
playing,
got
it
you
sounds
got
like
to you got to
10-year-olds.
take everything into account, though. We're not talking like sheerly Xbox.
Yeah,
We're
about
talking
MMOs
PC.
and
We're
stuff.
talking World of Warcraft. You know how many older guys do that?
Yeah.
We're talking even like handheld.
I can
They
believe
take
that
everything
more
into
as well.
account. Even
I
iPhones
think
and
it's going to be a
Android
little bit
markets.
lower, but
Are you counting moms in Farmville?
Probably they probably took that into account. They probably actually did. Okay. Well, anyway, what were you
Yeah.
bringing up? I'll keep looking up.
All right,
Joe's on this, I think.
Well, we had the.
I am?
No, he's not.
I had the Medal of Honor for Warfighter coming out in October. I was asking, Tony, you're getting it. Joe, you're gonna look into it now.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Never been a big Medal of Honor person.
I'm sorry.
I'm more
I'm sorry.
Battlefield,
I was
even though they're
off.
the
It
same.
just came up. Okay.
What
I will
we
read
got?
the. It's right here highlighted, but I'm going to read the entire quote as soon as the page pulls up. God, my computer is atrocious. I'm sorry about this, but it's 37. I'm off by 2 years. Okay.
A little bit better.
Hold on. Oh, that's a little bit better.
A little bit better.
These are looking at me like I was nuts.
Yeah, I just imagine like a bunch of old guys, old guys at 39, but still, it's just I didn't imagine 39-year-olds as the average age. But when you take into effect, I guess MMOs, Facebook apps makes more sense, I suppose.
Okay, here. I actually have a little graph about it. The average age is 37. 18% are under the years of 18, or the age of 18. 53% of gamers are 18 to 49, and 29% are 50 years or older.
Sounds about right.
So there you have it. I was 2 years off. I apologize. But Medal of Honor, yes. I actually did want to touch on that. I couldn't move forward.
I know
in
they've
this
gotten
podcast without that.
I know they've gotten a bit of heat for the name of Warfighter. People are just kind of saying it sounded stupid.
Yeah, they were definitely getting heat, but whatever. I mean, you can't technically call it Medal of Honor 2 because it's like Medal of Honor 6-ish.
My reason for it, I think it's stupid because they have Ghost Recon,
Yeah.
Advanced Warfighter.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's just Warfighter.
Yeah.
Just
Are we going backwards?
yeah.
Losing advancements?
It does look cool, though. I'm curious to see where the story goes from here. I did like Rabbit as a main protagonist, so this should be fun.
All right, we got next news story. This was a big one that kind of came up during midweek. It was just kind of an interview. The Call of Duty game that never happened. It was going to be called Call of Duty: The Devil's Brigade. It was going to be like a really third-person story-based Call of Duty game. 5 months before the release of Modern Warfare 1, a small team of developers began work on a top-secret third-person Call of Duty spin-off, which was set in Italy during World War II and would feature squad-based mechanics, exploration, and a grim story about the team of skillfully trained killing machines. By contrast, the development team was tame, mostly friendly and ambitious industry veterans. I guess early on the project had everything going for it, top talent, publishers, financial support, and was even blessed with the original Call of Duty developer Infinity Ward. And then March 2008 came around, 9 months into development, and the Devil's Brigade was canceled. That's the big news story right there. I guess the story went into it just... it was just they kind of went back into it for the most part. They had an big interview on Kotaku about it. It was pretty interesting. Sounded like I'd actually would have played that Call of Duty.
Yeah, this would have been like, what, 5 years in the making now? 4 years in the making?
It probably was supposed to come out, I believe, in 2008. Originally.
That's crazy. I kind of would have liked to have seen it, especially for the campaign. That's one of the...
No, the campaign would have been good, and I think with like the third person, I don't know, it sounded interesting. Out of all the Call of Duty games that I've heard of recently, I would have actually gotten that one.
Yeah.
Kind of seemed like it would almost be like an Uncharted.
Doesn't sound as cookie cutter as the past few Call of Duties have been.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, those are sitting on those imaginary railroad tracks that they're very linear, and they just, I mean, you really can't veer too much to the left or the right. They kind of have the invisible walls set up everywhere and trees that you can't go through, and it just needs you to go that way.
You got number one. Well, I got two number one stories for this week. First one being Pokemon Black and White 2 are coming this summer for 3DS and the regular DS. Who's getting it? Anybody? No.
Mikey's got his hand up.
Our audience woke up and rose his hand.
I've never played a Pokemon game in my life. I know nothing of this series.
Yeah. Well then.
I know you got to catch them all.
Yeah.
But, that's about it.
And how they're just more and more every time too.
All 151?
Yeah, there's 151 Pokemon.
All right.
Yeah.
How much?
I know it's a big selling series, so I know it's big news, but for me, I couldn't care less.
I kind of outgrew Pokemon about 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm just revisiting it. I have Fire Red in my phone right now. That's what I've been doing.
Fire Red?
Fire Red. It's Fire Red's remake of just Red.
Excellent.
Yeah, the classics are the good ones. All these other Pokemon, there's too many now.
Yeah.
Keep it to the original 151.
Okay.
Alright, hottest story this week. Mass Effect 3 Day 1 DLC. Pisses off most except the Collector's Edition owners, which I am one, so I'm not mad at all.
You're not an owner yet.
I will be. It's paid off.
I hate this. A lot of companies are doing this, the Day 1 DLC.
But this one is
such-
actually paid for. That changes it a little bit.
Yeah, but it's still you're purposely withholding stuff from the final product. DLC is like slowly ruining the industry. It was meant to keep games alive and well months after, so people wouldn't stop playing it. DLC's coming out way too fast, where it's blatantly obvious that it was ready before, and you guys like kept it out of the game just to make extra money on top of the $60 you're already charging for a full retail price. And it's fine. It gets to the way the industry's going and everything, but wait. The DLC is supposed to, like, keep people playing the game months afterwards when they would have otherwise moved on to something else. It's not to make an extra $5 2 weeks after you launched your game.
This story actually made it all the way to Forbes magazine. Forbes was actually calling it a good business decision, saying it'll let them test the waters of how much we'll actually take, basically, before we say, no, this is bullshit. The reason they're saying this is kind of a good thing for them is that it is going to kind of allow people to actually want to play the game fully through, buy it, or they can skip that. And then at the end of the article, they blame all of Call of Duty map packs for allowing EA to get away with this.
Yeah.
That was how they went out in that article.
Jason looks like he's shaking his head in disgust. Go ahead, man.
Well, it's the same thing like when Arkham City came out and the Catwoman content on disc but locked behind a DLC code.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
And then if you got a used
the
copy, you
code
still got the
came
DLC
with
code.
the.
I understand, but it's still a hassle to have to sit there and type in the code. As stupid as it sounds, it's on the disc.
I paid my
should have
$60.
that content.
Why do I have to stop and
Exactly.
put in a code? I agree.
You know, if it's a bonus for pre-order or something, cool. But if it's on the disc and it's locked behind a DLC code, because you're not downloading anything.
But this is the whole new versus used thing. It's a way for the company to
I get that, and
people
that's
to buy
that,
new.
that's a whole nother story there.
The Catwoman DLC, if you bought a used copy, the code printed out still.
On the receipt,
for
same
a
thing
while.
with Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I guess we did run out eventually, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, for a long time after, you could still get it. But I do, recently, that doesn't print out anymore, but still.
Mortal Kombat did it for almost 6 months.
Yeah.
Was
Yeah.
still printing out online passes for it.
Well, that's because it's Mortal Kombat and we're
They're
awesome.
very nice.
But again, Mortal Kombat, at least you were able to play online. Batman had no online. I understand Mass Effect does, but the DLC, I believe, is campaign-based.
Yeah, that's because that was their way to try to thwart the used market as well. They did that with Kingdom of Amalur as well. They're purposely withholding 7 areas, I think it was, right?
Rage did it also with
Yeah.
the sewers.
Yeah, they're
Again,
holding
it's
parts
on
of the
disc.
campaign off now.
It's built into the disc, but locked behind a 25-digit code.
Yeah. Oh, if I could actually throw a small one in that I found
for
this
it.
week too. It was actually really recently. It probably snuck through the cracks, but Killzone 3 is actually trying a new form of distribution now where you can actually, it's coming up really soon, where you can just download the multiplayer component for $15 off PSN, where you have to have that could totally screw with all shooters coming up, because
Just
a lot of Call of Duty fans I know don't care about the campaign like I do. I would still get the full game, but just could be a little game changer. Just some food for thought.
For $15?
I see. There's not enough info yet for it to be like factual. That's why I don't want to get too in depth with it. But
I'd say 15 for that, because it's only like $30 anyway.
well, yeah, but it's not that particular game. It's the whole idea behind it that you can start just buying the multiplayer component for certain games and doing it digitally only. But it's not confirmed yet. It's not anything like that. There's just talks. So
I think it'd be cool if they did it with the campaign also. On the flip side, do both ends of it, where you can
Yeah.
do either multiplayer. So
Start
I don't
buying
play
parts
Call
of
of Duty
games.
online anymore. I'd rather play just the campaign. I'd pay $15 for just the campaign.
start buying parts of games.
Yeah,
I'd buy for half the price of it for the single player. I'd do that.
I
Half
Probably
games
would
don't
too,
even-
actually.
Half the
Yeah.
games I don't
And I
even go to
hate
multiplayer.
It's an
Call of
interesting.
Duty.
It's an interesting concept, right?
Yeah.
Well, there's no facts on it yet. Maybe some more will merge within the next couple weeks, and we could touch more on it a little bit. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of bring that up. I read that I think last night. So
Nice.
yeah,
That'd be interesting. Those are basically the news stories for the week. Hopefully something more interesting happens next week, and I'll bring it to you.
Awesome. Well, we just want to keep going? All right, let's just keep going. So we got some emails this week. What?
what emails?
What? All right, emails. I actually have a bunch that I really thought were interesting, but we only got 6, so we're just going to cover them all.
Okay.
All right. Tyler asked, do you think Nintendo will come out with an achievement system like Xbox or PS3?
If what would? I'm sorry.
Nintendo.
Oh, of course, yeah. In this day and age, I mean, everything after the Xbox invented it, it's one of those things that just becomes standard now, where everybody. I mean, PlayStation had to, PlayStation had to institute it later. Steam came out with one. The Vita obviously has Trophy Sport now as well. Everything's got to have it, and I think Nintendo should also fix their online. What I mean, you can only go up.
Do anything to it.
Yeah, just implementing one will pretty much be a big step forward. But yeah, Nintendo will definitely have some kind of. They'll call it something else so they don't get in a legal battle with Microsoft. But yeah, they're definitely gonna have something.
They're gonna call it medals if they do it.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
That's gonna be bad.
Nintendo Awards, wee.
They can do stars.
Yeah, it's got to sound a little bit
We could do stars.
fluffier than that. Nintendo needs
Stars.
Metal sounds too not Nintendo.
Yeah.
It has potential to be decent with like a Legend of Zelda type game.
Yeah. That would be awesome actually, like Zelda with achievements.
So that's the only thing that I don't.
But
I think it turned into like PlayStation for me, where there'd only be certain games where I'd care.
Yeah.
right.
Like I don't give a shit about trophies, but like when it comes to Uncharted, I actually like trying to get the most out of every game that I can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's be realistic here though. There's only certain Nintendo games that you care about now.
Pretty much Zelda and Mario.
Exactly.
Yeah. Do you guys
So
have
that's
a
but on
Jump on the
Xbox,
Goomba's head
Sports,
50
those series?
times.
yeah, but on Xbox, I actually like my percentage to be okay. You know what I mean? Even games that I'm not enjoying as much, I try to get as much as I can.
Oh, I
On
don't
PlayStation, I
give a
don't think
shit.
I'd care. Or I mean, on Nintendo, I don't think I'd care. So
I wouldn't care anyway.
Yep. I'm not planning on buying the system.
No,
So
I had it. It's gone now.
well, he's talking the Wii U, yeah.
no. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna buy it.
Okay.
Not at first.
You have all my
I bet
money.
you. I bet.
As
okay.
long as they
you
don't
guys heard it here
announce-
first. Remember, episode 3, because I bet when it comes, because Joe's like me. When the new tech
No.
comes,
no.
comes
I'm not. I'm not
when
doing
he
it.
gets a waft of that new Nintendo smell.
Not Nintendo consoles anymore.
No, you realize he's saying it with a grin on his face the whole time.
Nintendo consoles
no
have
straight
not been
face
good
there.
since the 64.
Yeah, I don't even agree with that. I think the Super was the last good one.
Whatever.
The 64 was.
Hey, Donkey Kong Country or
There was
Donkey
a couple
Kong
okay
64
games.
was awesome.
There was a couple okay games, but
Conquer.
Yep. Absolutely best game ever. All right, so the next one is actually going to be a more trivial answer. Callie asked what the highest level a person beat on Tetris for the original Nintendo. This is my friend Callie. She's a huge Tetris fan. It's like the only game she's ever like actually tried at.
like which one? Like original old
Yeah.
school? Like Game Boy? Or
No,
like
Nintendo before the Game Boy.
okay.
It was an interesting question. I actually did a lot of research on it. I ended up reading like the entire Wikipedia page about Tetris just because there's a lot of interesting shit about that guy who created it.
And how he got screwed out of it.
Yeah.
It's actually Russian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, here's the answer to the question is no one knows because the game stops scoring at 999,999 points. And the game also stops getting faster at level 29. And stops counting at level 100.
So what you're saying is we can't answer this question.
We cannot answer this question.
See, I would
Was that
almost
more of a personal question though? Like what level we got to?
No. She wanted to know what the
if it is
answer
if it
is
is
level
personal,
3.
not much. Maybe 20.
yeah.
maybe.
I'd probably like 10 to 20
But
in that
that-
range. It's been so long.
That would be on my old Nextel phone because I was really good at it on that phone.
Okay, see, that's not the original.
Yeah,
NES.
that's what I'm saying. I
It's-
didn't have it on NES.
whole different
The
version.
reason I say level 3 is because I got a Game Boy for Christmas, and I'd start playing it, and my mom would come by and steal it, and then drain my batteries on it. So
Yeah.
the highest level I think I ever got was 3. That and Dr. Mario.
Just didn't have enough time to put into it.
Yeah.
Right?
I have the music memorized by heart because that's all I heard,
Yeah,
you know, and then when I wanted to play Ninja Turtles, my battery was dead, and I
Yep.
cry.
awesome. All right, so our next one, actually 2 questions from the same person, but we're going to cover one at the end because that one's going to take forever to go through.
Okay. Yeah.
Feisik asked, what do you expect out of 360 and PS3 in what looks like to be their final years as the flagship consoles?
Ooh, very, very interesting, Mr. Joseph.
Yeah.
I like
And
it.
he's never going to listen to this.
I think what typically happens in the final year of a console run is they finally maxed out the power. You can see it in like games like Uncharted 3 or
And Forza.
or Killzone and in Forza as well. They're clearly maxing out these consoles because they can't get any better looking than their predecessors. Like Uncharted 3 and 2, like the gap between Uncharted 1 and Uncharted 2 was almost like a full console.
Yeah.
And then the jump from Uncharted 2 to Uncharted 3 was very, very minimal. You could tell that they've done everything that they can do with it. So now they're going to work on story play and gameplay as opposed to the visual aspect of the games. They're going to look as good as they can look. And I think this is the time when the best games actually get pumped out of every generation, is right before it's over. If you look back at like the PS2 and stuff, this is when like Jack 3 and the best Ratchet and Clanks and all that came out of the PS2. And Halo 2 and stuff were coming out for the original Xbox right when that was on its way out and 360 was on its way in. So
look forward to the better games.
I think that, launch windows are terrible. Like, I think the games that we're playing right now on the Vita are gonna, they're fun right now, but you're gonna look back on them.
Better, hopefully.
You're gonna look back on them in a year, and you're gonna be like, look at most launch games. Like, try going back and playing the original Resistance right now on PS3.
No thanks.
You know what I'm saying? At the time, it was so revolutionary, but then you play other games, and it's just like...
I did that a few years after it released, probably when I had my PS3 back in 2010.
Yeah.
I went back to Resistance 1, and I was just like, this is not really impressive.
Yeah.
Went on to the second one, vastly improved.
Yeah, well, the first one was crazy good when it came out. It was revolutionary what they had done, and it's just, it ain't shit now. That's how it goes. So I think it's going to be a good year.
Generally, the twilight years of the console is when you see the real good stuff, like what Tony was saying.
Yeah. I talked for way too long, didn't I? Answer the whole question. I feel like a jackass now. Because you guys are all just looking at me.
I was going to go into a little bit more, but he already said it. So.
Yeah, no, I just covered. Less talking I have to do. All right. Aaron K. asked us to talk about Pokemon Black and White 2. And I think what I was reading this morning was that this is not a confirmed title.
Really?
I don't know.
From like yesterday, today, it sounded like that was kind of the...
I don't know. Like, my only thought about it is, I've never played a whole Pokemon game, so I don't know all that much about it. But from what I've seen, they keep changing the color, and way to be original.
It was gray
Pokemon.
last week when I looked.
Yeah.
And then earlier this week, it got changed to Black and White 2. I believe it will be Black and White 2. This will be the first one where they actually reuse colors, which is interesting. I don't know anything about the story-wise.
Are they running out of colors?
Yeah, well, there's only so many. What do we got,
Pokemon
256? Yeah. Basically, I don't think they're adding any new Pokemon in, so it'll be more of a... neither of you played Black and White, but Black and White was actual story-based for the most part, while the other ones seemed to just be running along a path and catching shit, and then battling the next trainer. That one, a little bit more story-based, so maybe they'll... I haven't finished Black and White, so there might be a open ending in that one that they're going to finish off.
Yeah.
I do know the 2 Pokemon on the boxes have new evolution forms, apparently.
So there will be a few new.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, over 500.
You know
now,
what?
at least.
After this conversation, the only thing I could think is, why are we using the same colors? Still thinking about that. Why don't they just fucking call it Pokemon Tie-Dye and Camouflage?
Off magenta.
Pokemon Chrome.
You got
Eggshell
Bulbasaur,
White.
They
and
already had
Camouflage.
silver.
Well, not silver.
Whatever. No, I'm done talking about Pokemon.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. Hopefully
Thanks,
answered
Aaron.
that.
I got nothing to contribute.
Yeah, me either. Just
I don't know.
I feel
More
bad.
release about it, hopefully soon, but it's kind of vague at this point.
all right. So this was an interesting question from the Facebook wall from Brendan J. Do you find that most games you loved as a child contained a lot of grinding or extremely difficult parts you would normally not put up with now? Does the nostalgia factor usually overcome the grinding?
I've got a great thing
Just
about
take
that.
these one at a time, I think. That's like
Go
2
for
separate
it.
questions.
Back in the day, I had the Flintstones game for my original Nintendo, which I still own.
Jeez.
And about a year ago, I decided to hook it up and just try out a bunch of games. And this game is absolutely ridiculously difficult. I can't beat it. I remember beating it as a kid because the last level of it, you go to the Jetsons world. Okay.
Nice.
And I couldn't even make it that far. How absurdly hard this game was and how twitchy the platforming was. I got mad. I threw it away. I hated myself in that game so much that I threw it away.
I think as time's gone on, we've become worse gamers. Like, the kids nowadays don't understand how infuriating NES games were. I popped in Battletoads, much like you said. I used to have
Fucking
that
had to
go there?
memorized. I couldn't get past that. What was it, the second stage or the third stage where you're on those, like, jet skis? I had that memorized.
Hover bikes.
I never played
Yeah.
Battletoads.
Okay,
did.
well, there's this ridiculously hard level 2 levels in, and it's impossible to beat. But when I was a kid, I used to be able to do it. And I remember the only game I could go back because I played it so often and memorized every jump is like the first 3 Marios. But everything else is just they're so ridiculously hard, and we used to be good at them. I remember playing these games and beating them, and you go back now and they're just like, I think newer games are more about giving you a full experience that's a little easier and a little bit more like enjoyable, as opposed to that like controller throwing tantrums we used to almost want to go on in our youth.
The dam level on the original Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Or like those boss scenes where you had to beat Donatello and you had to like stand on that box and jab.
Jab
He's the only
downwards.
one that could beat that boss.
Jabbing him in the head
Yeah.
from the floor above. Yeah.
It was just like you had to find those tricks because there was only one way to beat it, and everybody knew about it, but that was how it went.
I think that's another reason why the Mega Man games aren't as popular as they used to be, because they're difficult.
You
The
can only
older
shoot straight forward too, which makes it
older
really
Mega Man
hard.
games are ridiculously difficult, and I don't see them being as popular anymore. Gaming's more, like you said, it's more theatrics. It's more about an experience. You're not challenging yourself as much anymore.
Well, also in the modern day with the internet, and you're getting patches and updates, and you're fixing stuff that is broken. Like I remember when New Vegas came out, like all the videos that were coming up on the internet, similar to like how Skyrim was, where they were moonwalking horses backwards and playing Billie Jean and stuff. It's crazy because everything's so glitchy and broken. And back in the day, there was nowhere to fix it. If stuff was hard and broken like that, you had to find a workaround. Nowadays, they patch it and
Makes
the
it
game,
easier.
the game will become easier then.
Looking back to some of my older games, definitely with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. As a kid, I could not beat that. I went back to it because they re-released it on Xbox Live. I think I beat that thing in like 2 hours, maybe not even. And it was just so much easier.
Well, the other thing
The
is
arcade?
The arcade
The
one,
arcade.
yeah.
they're not
Okay.
porting these games over exactly the same way.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't sure. Like I've gone back to some of like the old N64 games. I've gone back to N64. That is the most frustrating system to me ever now. That was my favorite system as a kid. I went back to GoldenEye trying to do a shooter with one joystick. Absolutely terrible. I'm like, why did I like this as a kid? I hated this now.
Yeah, that
Because-
game did not age as well as people remember it.
No, it did not at all.
We tried popping it in the arcade too. We couldn't play it because your body, exactly, your brain was like sanctioned at that time to work like that.
with one joystick. It makes sense.
It made sense because you couldn't even fathom
takes
a
3
second
buttons to
joystick.
actually shoot in GoldenEye.
Yeah, and nowadays, like you can't even imagine without the second. I couldn't play a first-person shooter anymore without a second joystick. That's crazy.
That would be challenging.
Yeah.
I should try it.
It's
you know
hard.
what?
Frustrating.
Go try playing like Metal Gear Solid or something on the PS1. It's impossible with that stupid D-pad or the original Dino Crisis, where you'd actually use the D-pad just to switch the direction your third person overview was looking. It's like so broken, and like it used to make sense, and it doesn't anymore.
Resident Evil.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
I was playing that the other day on the PS3, the original one. I'm
Yeah.
like, I couldn't get him to walk forward.
Exactly. It's so hard. And back then, your brain used to work like
Yeah.
that, and you can't even fathom it anymore.
And to touch base on what you were saying, one reason that it's easier now is the old arcade games were meant to be quarters. You drop quarters in.
Suck your money up. Yeah.
Now you just push start and you get continue.
Yeah.
You know,
You save at any
Before
point.
you had like $3 worth of quarters to get through the game.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with like the X-Men that they re-released not too long ago.
Oh man, Time Crisis. Anyone try to actually beat Time Crisis? That game
In the
is
arcade?
made to suck quarters.
I actually went through that with my buddy, but we had the unlimited.
yeah, I know from GameWorks. That's
Yeah,
what
like
that's
2
the only
hours
reason
or
I ever
whatever.
beat
Yeah.
Me and Eric
You just keep swiping.
beat Time Crisis 2 and
keep
3 in
swiping the
one
card.
night. Never would have done that.
Your arms get so tired, too.
Oh man,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Trigger fingers sore after the next
Oh, yeah.
day. Oh man,
Good times.
yeah,
All right. Are we ready for our last
Good,
question?
good question.
yeah.
Last question?
Yes, yes.
Which is going to suck up a lot of time.
Okay, by all means, let's do it.
All right. Fysick again.
Uh-oh.
What would you like to see in the next generation of consoles?
What
Okay.
else can we put into a console that doesn't have right now?
Damn it. See, okay, if I can go a little, okay, this was one of my in the bank questions for topic of the week when
Ouch.
nothing big happened and nothing, like it was one of my safety valves, when nothing big happened that week, I was going to use this. It was just like in the bank.
Yup.
So, we can go into it. I got more questions. That's fine.
Should I start a timer so we don't go over an hour?
You guys go ahead and go first. I don't, yeah.
Trying to think. Well, first off, definitely gonna have. I almost want the 360 to basically come out again with better hardware in it, because right now there's just nothing I can think of that I don't already have that I like. Like I don't know what else I could have at this point. I'll probably come up with something in this conversation, but right now all I really want is better hardware at this point.
I kind of want more integration with my home networking and theater and everything. I want to be able to turn on my Xbox and use it as a TV, not just as a digital service.
Yeah.
I'd like to see more integration with that. I also want to be able to customize my background a little bit, so I don't have to go through. Well,
yeah.
With what they're talking about a little bit, though, is integrating more PC-style features into it. You know, I'm not saying get rid of advertisements and things like that.
Microsoft whores off every little inch.
But I'm
of
saying
their
maybe
screen.
rearrange how I have my setup. If I want my game library right next to the open tray next to the
nice,
Netflix
like,
and things like that.
Everything.
Yeah, kind of
on the new.
a
I'd
little,
rather
a
have
little
something
bit more,
on one page.
a little bit more customization added to it.
That's something I've been saying for years, that, like, why can't I have a page on my Xbox where it's the shit I want?
Yeah.
Throw an ad on there, fine. But the shit I want needs to be there.
So you don't have to scroll through every little stupid thing, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, a shortcut
my
to
games,
Dungeon
Netflix,
Defenders.
and the game that's currently in my tray. That's all I need.
Yeah.
I don't have to scroll through anything ever again.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah. Microsoft will never make money
No,
off
they'll
you
never
that
let
way.
me do it. I know. That's all I want, though. Just my Netflix tab, the games in my hard drive, and the game that's in the tray.
The reason I think that's not going to happen is because of the ads. Because
They know
if it's
everybody
set up
would do
that
it.
way,
Yeah.
there's no way you're going to go to the
games
music page.
Games is what, the fifth tab to the right?
In the regards of what I was talking about, how your Android phone and my iPhone, you can kind of
Drag
set
and
up
put
how
everything
you
where you
want
want,
everything. But then again, there's certain things that you can't delete on there. Like I can't, for instance, to delete my phone function. They can have it where in the lower left-hand corner is a little box for the advertisement that's on every single page.
Yeah.
And just allow me to kind of customize how I want my look and my setup, my experience to be.
Almost like a tablet face,
Yeah,
but on your TV.
exactly.
I got you, yeah.
Kind of how, again, like how your phone is, my phone is. You set it up for priority of what you use, and you kind of throw everything else in the background a little bit.
Yeah. What do you think?
Apple is stupid.
Don't go there. We're not talking about this right now.
I want, like,
Even though Joe bought a Mac,
kind of like what Mark was
Cheap.
saying.
It was cheap.
still own one.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Shut up, Jason.
I kind of agree with Mark. I want the same thing. I actually want complete compatibility. I don't want to lose anything. I'd rather get my new Xbox in, re-download everything I downloaded off the old store, put it onto my new hard drive, have all my games work, just carry everything over. I don't even want the controllers to change. I know they change with every generation slightly. I'm used to these controllers now. I've been playing with them for almost a decade.
I was actually going to bring that up, too. Is I want backwards compatibility for my controllers.
I just want everything to carry over. My mics, exactly
Do you
like
want
he
your
said.
gamer
I just
tag,
yes,
points?
my achievements, my trophies. Just let everything carry forward, and just like you said, just new hardware. And I don't want to lose
and use
anything.
black discs.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, well, just because they have 120 gigs of capacity or something on
Yeah.
them. Yeah,
I
do
don't
that.
They'll still max them out, and then they'll still be
Yeah,
2
do that.
and 3 discs. Yeah,
Be expensive, but do it.
yeah.
Listen to me, Microsoft.
Yeah,
I know.
Hear us roar.
Oh, hear Tony roar?
Yeah, but no, complete compatibility. I'd rather just throw away my 360 and be able to use everything for it. Have my Turtle Beach headsets carry over. Have the controllers, just everything. Use it again.
Well, if Turtle Beach is smart, they'll make an adapter so that our
Yeah.
current headsets work on the
I'm
new
sure
system.
No, they
will.
won't do that because they
Yeah,
want
they
you to buy a new Turtle Beach
Yeah,
headset
I mean,
for your new. That's
first
why
and
Microsoft
foremost,
won't let it work either.
They're out there to make money. So
Yeah, that's the
Microsoft's not going to let their controllers work again because that's $60 times 4 that everybody owns that
Well-
they're going to have to rebuy.
Well, what else can they do though? Because all the wireless controllers just use infrared.
Yeah, but they'll just
Yeah.
have them not sync.
No,
But again-
no, okay.
Some sort of radio
To-
frequency.
yeah,
to touch on what you're saying, though, that's kind of what Nintendo's doing. You're going to be able to use your Wii remotes, your nunchucks, your balance board, all that
Yeah, but
crap
they're-
that you bought on the new system with the new controller.
Yeah,
So-
it's for me, if I'm able to use my current controllers, all my current shit, it's gonna sway me more into buying the new system rather than if I have to buy all new shit, which would be costly.
I mean, eventually you're not going to play all your last gen games except for nostalgia, but for that first 6 or 8 months, it's really going to help out if I'm carrying over my 80 or 90 games that I own on Xbox, if I'm just porting all that over, and I have a huge catalog now for my new Xbox Next or Xbox 720 or whatever the hell they call it. Same thing with my PS3. I'd love to go back. You know how much, like, all the money, even on DLC and stuff, like, it's kind of stupid to just, like, not have any of that again. Or, like, with the new Halos, finally, all they have to do is make a Halo 2 anniversary, and every Halo's finally available on one console with all the multiplayer available for every single game, all together in unison. And in a year and a half, I'm going to lose all that, and I'm not going to be able to go back and play Reach on Firefight or anything. I love that game, and it's going to be gone because Microsoft drops support immediately as soon as their next console comes out.
Sure, because you'll have to wait for, Reach anniversary.
Yeah, but that's why I would love just for everything to carry over.
I'm not disagreeing.
Yeah,
I'd love it too.
It's exactly what I'm saying. Or like Gears of War, like, what if in 2 years we want to go back and play some
you got to
Horde
go
mode?
hit below the belt and talk about Gears, man.
No, but I'd love that. Like, if we're just like you call me up and you're like, let's go throw in some Horde mode. Microsoft will turn off the servers when the new Xbox comes
To
up.
prepare for Gears 3, that's all I did was play the original Horde, even though it was on the same console. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of games that when a new release is getting ready to come out, even as a former GameStop employee, you'd see a spike in sales of that original or the older version of that game. People want to prepare. They want to play it. I want to play my original games. I don't want to lose my library.
Yeah.
All the downloads that I have, it's ridiculous.
All these HD remakes that I've been collecting for my youth.
Or how, you can purchase movies and stuff. I don't want to lose those.
I
spent $20, $30, to download a movie and things like that. That better carry over.
And these are things I think they got figured out. I think the PlayStation Network and the Xbox Live or whatever will both carry over complete in their current state.
They
I guess
need to keep everybody
and all they're going to do is
on
just
board.
Yeah, as opposed to adding new stuff, all they're going to do is just add the stuff for the newer console to it. I think those things are too established, and they know this. They can't. There's no workaround. People have spent way too much money. There'd be such an uproar if they don't let all this stuff carry over. Especially with Sony, they're trying to include that. They even changed the name. It's not PSN anymore. It's like Sony Online Division Entertainment. I don't even know what the hell it's called.
Right.
They made you
When did they change that?
like a week and a half ago was the new agreement that you accepted.
I agree to your new name.
I didn't.
Yeah,
If
that's,
I say
that's
no,
that's literally all it
I'm
is
gone.
because they knocked out their Curiosity brand, their movie. They're just combining all of Sony's divisions are coming into one entertainment thing to simplify everything. So they're not just going to cut that off when PS4 comes out.
When Microsoft integrated the Zune marketplace
Zune and everything,
into everything kind of deals what they did. Yeah.
So Sony just put it all under one roof now because it actually used to be different. You have to put the way Sony used to work is you'd have to have your credit card on like three different parts of their three different divisions under Sony. Now they kind of unified everything, and they're not just going to cut that off because the PS4 comes out. I think it's too established. It's too big. It'll carry over.
So essentially, instead of a new system, we need an evolution of the current systems into a new one.
An Xbox
carry everything over.
Yeah, an Xbox 1.5 or whatever. An Xbox 3.5. That's what we need. Or PS. Jesus. The PS 3.5 is what more or less it has to come out. Just stronger hardware with everything that's out, and the games we buy from here on out look better. And
I'm all for
PSN
better
fix your
graphics.
networks.
Yeah.
Yes, fix.
Yeah.
They're close. They're close. They're
No, they're
way.
not.
It's a lot better than some stuff, dude.
It's better than
PSN's
Nintendo.
gotten a lot better. They were bad. Like when I first got my PS3, it was so they're getting progressively better, and I think in another couple of years they'll be comparable to Xbox. I hope.
I was quite upset when I went out and bought Twisted Metal and got my new TV and realized that my 1080 TV only supports Twisted Metal and 720.
Because the new consoles don't. They lie. They don't support
I know.
full 1080.
I know,
Yeah.
and it's very, very frustrating.
I
didn't read the box,
on a
man.
1080p
Oh.
TV, but it doesn't run
No.
true.
No, it says 720.
Yeah.
You know what I did as soon as I got the box? I flipped the cover around.
You know, I've noticed a lot of the
Why?
newer
Look at
PS3
it.
games have actually just had 720p support.
Most of the Xbox games do as well. They say they run in 1080. They're not true.
Well, like they don't even list like 1080p.
Yeah. Yeah, some of them are straight up about it too. Yeah, they don't even say it. It's good stuff.
The audience is taking pictures.
Yeah.
Nice.
The audience can't hear us, I don't think, either.
Audience is sleeping.
Should throw something at them. All right, so rumors this week. We got, I'm going to do these out of order from what I wrote them. Mercenaries 3 to use Frostbite 2 game engine.
Wait,
I
which
know.
one?
Mercenaries 3.
Oh, Mercenaries 3. Oh, yeah, duh.
Who makes
EA.
the Mercenary series?
EA.
It's EA?
EA,
Okay.
and it used to be Pandemic,
Pandemic.
but they are down.
Okay.
They died.
That's cool. Frostbite 2 is an excellent engine. It should have,
And it should work extremely well for Mercenaries and their destructible everythingness. I think that's a word.
if not, it's patented here on the Forward Compatible podcast. Registered trademark.
I just hope
date
it's not as
everything.
broken as Mercenaries 2 was.
I was not impressed by Mercenaries 2.
Not at all.
Mercenaries
I
1 was
enjoyed it.
so good, and Mercenaries 2 was
I enjoyed both of
disappointing.
them.
I jumped into a friend's game and got 13 achievements for nothing.
Oh, that's
For just
awesome.
popping
Actually-
up in his game.
I actually did the same thing. When I jumped in my friend's game, I got 2 achievements right off the bat, and they were story-based.
Neat.
I
Didn't
got
even
the
be-
entire story
So Chivo's popping for no reason.
for no reason.
For no reason. The first 2, I did nothing and got them. It was like 60 points.
I
or
can
something
thank
like that.
Andy for that.
Good, now I can just return this.
Nice.
That's pretty much what happened.
So we got 2 rumored release dates. I actually wrote these separate. I don't know why. We'll start with the earlier one first. For February 28th, so that's just, in
2 days.
2 days from now, rumor has it that Xfinity will be coming to 360.
It's supposed to have been like last year that it was going to release.
Well, no, I
With the new,
understand
it was
that,
supposed
but,
to be with the new dashboard.
Yeah.
It's
but
And
no,
then
the
it's
new
been
dashboard
delayed.
has been saying first
I can
quarter.
kind of confirm that on Something Awful forum. There is a talk about Xfinity Blade coming to 360, and they were talking about you have to pre-order it basically for some reason. But
That's stupid.
Yeah.
Why would you have to pre-order?
How are
a
you?
service?
How would you pre-order a service?
I don't know, but that was what they were talking about in the forum. I didn't read much into it.
The whole idea behind it is kind of lame, though. Like with the data cap, we've touched on this briefly before as well. I mean, you only get 250 gigs through Comcast, and if you sit there and watch an awful lot of TV, you're eating up bandwidth of your monthly allowance just watching TV. Where if you were to watch it normally, you wouldn't eat up any bandwidth.
Well, maybe they'll see what you're doing and
cut it
realize
off.
that, hey, this is Comcast subscriber, and they're watching TV on their Xbox. Let's not charge them for this.
Yeah, it's Comcast. I don't see that happening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I am a Comcast user, and I have their TV service, and I like the Xfinity on demand.
yeah.
I guess just the lazy part of me is excited that I won't have to switch over
Yeah,
from my Xbox to my cable box, which is like 2 button pushes.
But
So
still,
much.
Yeah,
That's
It
a
is.
lot of work.
It is. You got to find the remote to hit the button. You know,
And you
It's
gotta
a
push
lot
the
of
button.
unnecessary
yeah,
work.
that's why I like the Kinect.
It's
I don't have to
crazy
even look
talk.
for a remote. I try to talk to it, and it does nothing.
Yeah, but as soon as you turn the lights off, the shit doesn't work anymore.
The voice recognition still works with the lights off.
The voice recognition does not work for Bing at all.
Oh, I heard about that, too.
Yeah. Oh, hey. When I was an idiot in Joe's basement trying to use Bing, now I know why. It was just not. I just actually I was at Jeff's house. Anyhow,
Like, I thought Siri was bad, but Bing sucks.
Yeah, Bing's bad.
Well, Siri's also a bitch.
Yeah. She told me to go to hell one day. I took a picture of it.
All right, moving on. Release date for April 19th.
for what?
Diablo 3.
Nope.
Lies. This
Nope,
is
Not
never
gonna
happened.
happen.
This some
I want it
modern
to
day.
happen.
This some modern day Gran Turismo 5.
I'm
It's just
telling
going to
you
get
right
delayed
now.
and delayed and delayed, and 6 years later,
They
it may
really
come
should
out.
aim for that release date though, because that is a very dead month
Yeah.
release wise.
It doesn't matter.
It's Diablo. It doesn't
gonna
need
sell
to have a
yeah,
dead
it's going to sell
month.
because they could launch it on Call of Duty Day. It'll sell gazillion copies.
That's also true.
I'm calling it now holiday.
Really?
Holiday.
Really? You think that long?
I think
Yeah.
it's got one more delay in it.
Where's the second half of StarCraft?
It's this year, next year?
Non-existent?
Yeah, exactly. Is it even for pre-order?
This is
yes.
why I
Is it
did
now?
not buy
I believe so.
StarCraft.
Yeah.
Because it's
You
only
can buy
part of a game.
1/3 of a game for $60.
Yeah, no thanks.
Wait 6 years for the rest of it.
I think it's whatever. It might come out, but that game's I don't know.
No, I mean,
Has
Have-
no
now,
faith
now
in
is
that
that
date.
including the
all
supposed
lies.
console
Yeah.
version of it that they were talking about?
no, fuck console versions of
Are
Diablo.
you kidding? That would only improve it.
No,
That'd be the only way that I'd play it because PC gaming sucks.
Uh-oh.
you suck.
Uh-oh.
That's just a shot.
Now
back
it's
for
2
Phil.
on 2.
Oh,
I got
wait.
someone on my side, gentlemen.
PC gaming sucks from an avid The fuck do you play?
City of
we got
Heroes?
That's
mods.
it.
On my Mac.
Whatever.
Full ultra mode.
It's still a personal computer.
It's a Mac.
Oh yeah, and then you also have Blizzard making the WoW expansion too, so that's something else they have to work on.
Fuck World of Warcraft.
they- Pandas, really?
I mean, they canceled BlizzCon this year just to work like more or whatever.
Is it really?
They canceled BlizzCon because
man.
nobody cares about pandas.
It's true.
I remember the day that was announced, I texted my two WoW friends and said, hey, good luck with your pandas and your Pokemon.
Speaking of pandas, interesting thing I actually learned a few days ago. The Firefox logo is actually not a fox.
What is it?
It is a red panda, which is nicknamed Firefox.
That's stupid. It's a
Yep.
fox.
Nope, it's a panda.
In the
I was
words
just-
of Joe, that's stupid.
I was just waiting to see how that segue panned out. Because you're like, speaking of pandas, and that doesn't come up very often.
Although, speaking of Gran Turismo, no, not Gran Turismo, Grand Theft Auto 5 might be coming to Vita.
I did hear this one.
Did you also hear it might be coming to 360? We don't know when it's coming out.
It also might be a launch title.
Oh, I actually saw something about a launch title.
That's yeah, but it
Project
doesn't look pretty
Gotham
enough.
5 is supposed to be a launch
Which
title.
one?
Project Gotham 5.
I don't doubt. I thought Forza 4 would be good launch, or excuse me, Forza 5.
Yeah, I said if it doesn't start
That
with
would match
Forza
up
in the
perfect,
title,
too.
I don't care.
That's what I'm. Yeah, because
I am.
It'd be right. It'd be
Project
right around.
Gotham.
Yeah.
Project Gotham 3 was good.
It went out of style like 10 years ago.
Project Gotham 4 was awful. 3 was good.
They're easy to pump out.
1 and 2 were
and,
fucking
and they'll
awesome.
they'll showcase the new visuals real quick. They could pump those out really fast. The 6-month development period, they could pump out a Project Gotham.
Yeah, and
they're not
it's-
really in-depth games.
But I'm
so.
just saying, now that the company that made it, what was it, doesn't exist anymore, I don't remember the name of the developer. Just work on Forza.
Forza's
Different company.
Microsoft.
Huh?
Those take
Different
a,
company. Forza's
Microsoft.
big.
It's under Microsoft.
Yeah,
I'm
Forza,
just saying.
Forza takes a
turn
long.
10.
That's a big development cycle for a Forza.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna Google.
There was only a couple years between the last two.
For what, Forza?
Yeah.
They pump them out every 2 years.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Bizarre Creations.
Bizarre
That's
Cre-
right.
thank
The
you,
guys
just
with the pumpkin.
The pumpkin logo.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
all I kept thinking
Yeah,
was the
yeah.
pumpkin logo.
Love the Googles. Okay.
Sometimes I hate Google.
No, you don't.
Oh, yeah.
Better than Bing.
Also
Don't
true.
say it too loud or the Xbox will turn on.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Say Xbox.
The lights aren't on high enough. All right, let's keep going. Sorry.
No, I'm done with rumors.
Okay,
I'm gonna
rock
save some
on.
stuff for next week.
All right, then. It's that time of the week, gentlemen. Do Tony's topic of the week.
Next time you do that, I swear I'm gonna make you sound like a rapist.
Have them do it again.
Okay, do it again. Go
Do it
on,
again.
Ready?
Do it again.
All right.
That's going to sound good.
All right.
Oh
So-
man, that was no, like it's awesome because I'm
gonna
the
be
only
that
one
bad.
that
Yeah, you're
knows
the
what
only
it
one that can
sounds
hear
like.
it right now, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So this week, in lieu of all the teases about the new Medal of Honor that we kind of touched on earlier, and about what was it? It was last week, but Black Ops 2 rumors started surfacing, and
Thank you, crowd.
the recent release of Battlefield 3 and Modern Warfare 3, and I know Sniper Elite's trailer just got released. I don't know if you guys seen that yet.
Wait, which one was that?
Sniper Elite, exciting.
It looks really
Oh,
cool.
yeah, I already have it reserved.
I've
But
seen it like 30 times, thanks to Andy.
yeah, not to mention all the upcoming sci-fi shooters. We got like Halo 4, and we got Dust
Alien.
514, which I'm totally stoked about coming up
Aliens,
on
Colonial
the
Marines.
PS3. Yeah,
That's never coming out.
So today we're talking military shooters, first person basically. We got the EA series basically, and versus Activision. That's the big one. We're gonna kind of touch base on all the different companies and see what directions we want everything to go in. So,
Everything should go to Rainbow Six Vegas.
oh, that's another one I totally left
Yeah.
out. The Rainbow Six.
That's a big series
Yeah,
that's
another-
been
the Tom Clancy's
dormant
with
for the
all
last
that.
few
Yeah.
years.
Well, they got one coming up soon, don't
Yep.
they? That's like
Patriots.
Patriots.
yeah, Patriots. Yeah,
Yep.
that's another big one coming up.
I'm a big Rainbow Six fan, so I'm excited for that one.
Well, for me, I noticed that they all try to be big Call of Duty clones because of the success, and everybody's trying to carbon copy everything that those guys do.
I
that
really hope
bothers me.
Vegas does not, or well, Patriots does not go that way because Call of Duties and Battlefield, well, not Battlefield at that time. What was it at the time? Medal of Honor. I don't remember, but
Are you talking about
Rainbow?
are you talking old Medal of Honor or the
Well,
rehashing
like-
the series?
Yeah, basically the new
The newer one that came
yeah.
out 2010.
When
I
everyone was
think.
trying to clone, do a Call of Duty clones, Rainbow Six finally didn't do that out of all the big series, which was such a nice thing.
Yeah.
So if they can keep that up, I'll be extremely satisfied with that.
Well, the other thing I'm noticing too is that they're following like not even just the way that their levels are designed and their multiplayer advancement system, which everybody clones. Even the way they go, like when Call of Duty decided that the World War II genre had seen enough, and they moved on to the more modern gameplay. Everybody came with them. Nobody stayed back, and Battlefield came up with them, and
well, Battlefield actually was already up. Call of Duty,
Yeah.
Battlefield was
Modern
first.
Combat is what it was called.
No, it's called Battlefield
No,
2.
we don't talk about that game.
Battlefield 2
That
was
one's-
modern day years before Call of Duty
Yeah.
came into modern day.
Was that? I never played
That was
that
PC
game.
only.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's why
It
I
was
don't know about
hugely
that.
That's why
Okay,
I
so
threw
I'm
the
sorry about
console
that.
one
And
at you was with
hugely
Battlefield
awesome.
2 Modern Combat.
That game was
Yeah.
atrocious. We don't talk about that. It's
Yeah.
like the fourth Indiana
It's because
Jones.
they
It doesn't
tried to
exist.
copy the success of
Hey,
Battlefield
sniping
2
on the crane was
PC,
fun.
I don't know.
and
Whatever.
it didn't carry over well.
But anyway, now that they decided, like everybody's kind of Medal of Honor came back up, and then Battlefield started the Bad Company series, and everybody seems to be doing more. But you got that Sniper Elite. They look like they're reverting back to World War II.
Well, they're just sticking to their series. Sniper Elite 1, which awesome PC Xbox game, was World War II American sniper who's in Moscow. That's what it is. So this one will follow somewhat the same path of that, and it uses Mortal Kombat X-ray system, which is awesome.
That is looking awesome.
That is the best part. That's why I reserved it right there.
When you
'cause
blow their head off,
you
yeah.
blow their head off, and you get the X-ray and see what their bones are doing.
There's also one that you're forgetting, which is the New Brothers in Arms.
Yeah, that's
with
right.
The 4-player co-op Borderlands style,
Which could be cool.
which is
I
set
hate
in
on
World
that
War II.
series for that.
That's one of the things I wanted to touch on later. Is the
I
weak-
absolutely hate.
I
I'm
jumped
boycotting
in.
that
Yeah,
game.
you jump with the gun a
How
little,
dare
sir.
you?
I'm boycotting Brothers in Arms because you are putting your Brothers in Arms series on the line over a game not affiliated with the series. You could have just called it a Furious 4. That's what it's called, right?
Yeah.
Furious 4. You just called it that. Don't put Brothers in Arms in front of it. That's a completely different series that you've been doing for 6 or 7 years now.
Like a
Yeah.
spinoff.
Yeah, I mean, it shouldn't have Brothers in Arms associated with it at all. That has nothing to do with
Kind
the
of how
series.
the Call of Duties were supposed to branch off, and
Yeah.
Well, technically, there hasn't been a Call of Duty 5. People are labeling these like whatever it is, Call of Duty 8 or 9. They're technically, these are all spin-off series. World at War was like one of my favorite ones, but then, I mean, the Black Ops... The last one that was physically numbered was the original Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
That's 4. The Modern Warfare 2 and 3 are spin-offs. They're parts of the series, but not the actual... Like, Final Fantasy does that all the time, too. There's actually like 30 of them, right?
if you
But they're on
Why are you
13.
looking at me?
if you look at
I
look
thought-
at Activision's trend though, they actually stopped numbering a lot of things. The Guitar
Yeah.
Hero franchise was one of them. When it gets so far into it, they don't need the numbers anymore.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah. But like I was saying earlier with the World War II, I'm actually happy that they're going back to it because that just reminded me. World of War is probably my favorite campaign that they've made for that entire series. I'm looking at you again. You don't play them ever, so you don't care.
Call of Duty 1 PC only campaign and the United Offensive were some of my absolute favorite single player campaigns of all time.
Well, people were bitching about how overused the whole World War II genre, like that they had to move on, and that
You know, it was
I
a
personally
fad.
got really sick of World War II between
I can
Call
only
of Duty 1,
invade
2, and 3, which I
Omaha
played.
and then the Medal of Honor is going
Yeah,
against
the
them. And
Medal
all
of
the,
Honor's on
all
the PS1 that came out every 6 months.
all
But
the
then,
clones, yeah.
After everything went to modern, I missed World War II.
I wouldn't mind going back to
Um,
it. I miss the Thompsons and the big MG42s and blowing Germans'
Let's
heads
get some
off. I
World
miss
War
it.
One action going in there,
Right?
Or Civil
No
War.
one's ever done that.
Something,
History
Civil-
Channel did Civil War.
yeah, but I
Darkest of
still
Days has
want
World
to take
War
10
One in
minutes
it.
to reload
Yeah,
my
but
gun. Okay?
That's what I'm saying. Civil War. What are you going to do? You're going to sit there and like they're going to have
In
like,
real-time action
hit
sequence.
X. Yeah, hit X, or you're gonna miss
Real-time
miss-
action sequence.
You're going to load your musket incorrectly.
Try to play Darkest of Days. That goes from Civil War all the way to World War One. It's a pretty good game too. I was surprised.
World War One's I think as early as they can go because they had some primitive machine guns back then at
Yeah.
least.
I actually
Semi-autos.
over the holiday, I actually got what's the game that you play? Red Orchestra.
Yeah.
Greatest World War II game I've ever played.
Thank you,
Really?
Red Links.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
I think it's like Red Links or something. They're
I
publishers. Yeah,
could go over
good
to
stuff.
the Beast and look it up.
Yeah.
Too much
Basically, that's it started off as a mod for I think Counter Strike, and it's grown into its own company because of it. It was so played.
Yeah.
Well, just like another Counter-Strike Half-Life one was Day of Defeat. If anybody
Yep.
old PC gamers played that, I loved that game.
Mm-hmm.
It was a lot of fun.
So what are you guys thinking then? Should we? Are you guys all in agreement that they should revert back to World War II then for a little bit? Or
No.
at least
I
try
think they
it?
should
I
go
would
to the
love
future.
to see
Future?
the
Future
Korean
warfare?
War.
Yes, future.
I'd love to see Korean War. It's
I
very World War II still, since it was only a few years off there. The military tech is very similar for the most part, and it would be completely different.
Well, I mean, there's the cop outs like Black Ops 2, which pretty much span 40 years, like post WW2 all the way up until the modern age. I mean, that I don't know if I'm.
Well, that was like-
spoilers, it's 2 years old. I'm
It was
sorry,
like
but
Vietnam.
It's Call of Duty.
yeah, everybody's played it.
It was
but
like Vietnam.
The
all the way
trailer
till, like,
spoiled the game.
whatever.
you're talking 60s all the way up to almost modern day.
Yeah.
I mean, he's getting tortured.
Well, you got Korean
Current-
Wars
present day.
50s and up until something.
And I mean, and that game, they're obviously going to turn that into a little mini series as well. But I mean, that spans so many decades that I don't even know where I'm going with that.
Speaking of what he said, I want a first-person Rambo game.
no.
Yes.
No.
Where I can run up and, like, grab people by the jugular and rip it out like he did in that movie.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Bows and arrows and whatnot. Making booby traps.
No.
Special unlockable level
No.
has a predator in it.
I thought about it
George
for a
is
second. No.
disgusted.
I'd play that war game.
Well, then you go do that.
I will.
It's just
Now you
movies.
just gotta
go
find a
develop it.
developer and a publisher, and
It'll pop up on the App Store.
Okay, then there's the off clones, which I'm a big fan of, or at least the ones that have come out so far. They still are that first person shooter, but they try to vary from the norm a little bit. And those are your resistances and your kill zones and your Bioshocks, which is still the first person. They're still
Wouldn't Halo fall into that category?
that's
a little bit
future.
too?
That's more future warfare in my opinion. But yeah, it could. You could throw Halo in there as well. I love those as
can
well.
we throw third persons in there, like Gears of War?
If you want.
I mean, it does have. I mean, it,
Yeah,
it's
I mean-
it is very first person mechanics when
Yeah.
you think
Yeah.
about it.
It's just over the shoulder, yeah.
Yeah.
And all those, I mean, yeah, you're going against like the Hellgast or the Locust Army or what
The Covenant.
The Covenant, yeah, all those things. You're going against like mutant forces as opposed to an actual nation, but they all pretty much derive from the Call of Duties and the Medal of Honors of the world. And I think they kind of take it one step further as opposed to like we were saying before with the Medal of Honors and the Battlefields that are pretty much just ripping off what Call of Duty's been trying to do.
Well, Battlefield even did a future one.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2142.
I think I played it for like 10 minutes.
Even though Medal of Honor is the original and Call of Duty actually took what they did one step further, and then Medal of Honor is kind of reverting back to the favor and yeah, just to get our history correct. It was actually Medal of Honor that kind of started it. With the
And
guys
half,
from
and half the people left and went and made Call of Duty.
the two heads, and now they're actually back at EA.
Yeah.
They got in a fight with EA. Activision scooped them up, made the Call of Duty series to compete with their old company in Medal of Honor, and now they got in a fight with them, and EA scooped them back up. And they're
Epic.
working on something totally different. They
Sounds
opened a
like
new
high
studio.
school drama.
Yeah, just like Call of Duty.
But those two are geniuses, so whatever. West and Zampella or whatever.
I don't even know their name.
Those are the
Me
two.
either.
Yeah, a lot of high school drama.
I'll be honest, I don't play a lot of first person shooters
I noticed. I know.
at all.
I do.
I-
The only ones
I
I
play
play
them.
actually be
Yeah.
good.
I'm a big fan of this
I'm
stuff.
very much over the war games that take themselves way too serious. I can't do it anymore. I don't find them entertaining.
Yeah.
Jack Bulletstorm?
Bulletstorm
So
was fun.
you're saying there's too much of the
Bulletstorm was
same
very
every
fun.
all the time.
Exactly. You know, even with Battlefield 3, I think I played it for an hour. I'm a fan of Bad Company. Bad Company 2 was getting a little too serious. I like the
love
comedy
Bad
that they
Company
had
2.
in Bad Company.
I love the bad companies.
And they
for those
didn't
series,
take
yeah.
themselves as serious. And now they're kind of going back to that. And I don't want anything to do with real world events and everything like that. That's not what playing games are about. Not to be reminded of what's going on in the outside world. I'd rather blow up aliens or things crawling out of the ground, things like that.
Made up stuff. Yeah.
I want a first person Ghostbusters.
We'll see a lot of people. That'd be awesome. But yeah, a lot of people like they feel the same way you do, and that's why a lot of like Call of Duty's been getting a lot of shit lately, is because they're putting out the same game over and over and over again.
Yeah, but they don't care about the core gamer. They care about the Madden gamer, the guy who's just going to buy Madden and Call of Duty every
bro
year,
gamers.
over and over and over.
Yeah, the bro gamers, exactly.
Yeah,
That's what you've been dubbed, if you're not aware, by the way.
Yeah, we're probably talking more to the core, the
Right.
people that are
Yeah.
more like us. But yeah, we might have a bro gamer. Yeah, but I just think like that's what sells for them, and they're not going to ditch a winning formula. And I think the same thing's going to happen. I think the guys that make Call of Duty are in a no-win situation, because if they do a complete overhaul and change the way that the game is laid out, you're going to have the exact other people that weren't bitch about why you changed what was working and what they liked in their game that they came out and bought every year.
Understand.
And when they don't change, you got the people bitching that's the same game. They can't win.
It's the Madden effect.
Yeah,
you know?
but they sell a gazillion copies every year, so they're laughing all the way to the bank anyway. They don't really give a shit.
I mean, you kind of got to do what brought you to the game. You know, what makes you the money, because at its core, they're a business. They're there to make money.
Yeah,
and,
they're not there to keep you happy. Yeah, yeah.
Because whether any of us buy it, somebody's going to buy their game, and it's going to make a gazillion bucks, like you said.
You can't
There's all
please 100%
technical
of people.
terms,
You just can't.
Gazillion, yes.
Whatever, dude. These are patented trademarks coming from
You're gonna have to come up with your own
Gazillion?
dictionary.
Really?
gazillions. Whatever.
That's a word.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
whatever.
totally. Okay.
Thanks.
All right, another common complaint we get with the first-person shooters. Bad Company was a lot better with this, actually, but the campaigns are far, far too short. And this is a big complaint of mine as well, because I like multiplayer as much as the next guy, and I understand that's what gives gamers the most replayability out of these games. But it shouldn't be the entire focus of the game with a little 4 or 5 hour campaign thrown in the mix just to shut people up. It seems like lately, especially with like Homefront and stuff like that, the campaign is more or less just a multiplayer training device. And the whole reason I got into the genre was because I liked the campaign, and the multiplayer was tacked on. Now it's like done a complete 360 or 180. Wow, 360, you'd be right where you were. Just, but it's
Whatever. Going back to we're bad at math.
Yeah, we're bad at math, whatever. But yeah, it's done a 180, and now it seems like it's all. And I get it, but it's too multiplayer focused, and the campaign is why I buy these games, and I can't be the only one. There's got to be people out there that enjoy the campaign.
Right here.
Right? Yeah. See, I got people.
I can't justify spending.
You hear us, Activision?
Can't justify spending $20 an hour for a campaign, because that's the breakdown. You buy the new Call of Duty, it's 3.5, 4 hours long.
Yeah, that's all it is.
it. I mean, I'd rather take that money and go to a movie and watch a movie with as much action in it. Mm-hmm. I don't care about the multiplayer. I like co-op as opposed to competitive.
I love co-op.
I suck at competitive. I'd rather play with my friends like we did with Gears and things like that. I mean, Call of Duty has the Spec Ops.
Yeah.
But
we need to go back to Gears.
Well, that's the other thing I was going to bring up real quick before we go. We're going to go back to Gears to help Joe out, but
No.
You still got work to do?
No, I beat the game, but I have not touched the new map pack.
I haven't either.
We should revert back to that,
Yeah.
But what you were just bringing up with that's another thing. What do you guys think about all those? Because you got all those added modes that aren't quite the campaign. They're not quite the multiplayer. I mean, with Battlefield, you had the what was it? It was like the Reverse Horde. I can't even think what it's called right
Onslaught.
now. The Onslaught mode. Yeah. You had Firefight with Halo. You got the zombie mode in the Treyarch based games, and with the Infinity Ward based games lately, you've been having the survival and Spec Ops and stuff like that. And they are adding replayability, and I'm actually finding myself enjoying those more than the actual competitive multiplayer as of late, with the exception of Halo. Because
I still feel
to Halo multiplayer.
that if a game like Gears can pump out a 15-hour campaign, there's no reason that Call of Duty can't and draw it out and make it an epic game, no pun intended.
It's because Gears isn't an every year game.
I understand. Well, neither is Call of Duty technically. It takes them 2 years to develop these. That's why they're switching off every other one. So, I mean, but does that justify us getting a 3-hour campaign? No, not at all. I'd be happy with a 10-hour campaign out of a Call of Duty game. It would feel like, an epic blockbuster.
That's very well said. I never even thought about it that way. Gears of War, you have at least a 10-hour campaign, plus you have a full extensive Horde mode. You have your Beast mode thrown in. That's their little tacked-on fun mode.
And then you get your DLC, which extends your campaign.
Plus they
and they're adding another gameplay mode from the previous game into it.
Yeah, and they have already an established multiplayer as well, an actual multiplayer.
Exactly.
They threw all 4 components in there and called it, and they're doing that on an Xbox disc, not even a PS3 Blu-ray. And they're getting away with it. And you look at Call of Duty; they got these 4-hour campaigns.
They didn't cut any corners in Gears as to where I feel.
I was
Call
complaining
of Duty,
about this 2 weeks ago when we were talking about the Game of the Year, that Gears of War got overlooked.
You're lucky I wasn't here for that one.
I don't think it was by far but nobody even talked about it. It got no consideration. Just Skyrim took everything.
Again, it's also, you have to look at when it came out in the year. It was the beginning of the holiday rush when everything else came out. So, 2 months later, yeah, Skyrim came out in November, Gears came out in September. By then, nobody cared about Gears because everybody was like, ooh, new shiny Skyrim.
That's why Portal 2 got overlooked a lot, too, for the Game of the Year, because it came out so early.
When Red Dead originally came out, it came out early in the year. It didn't come out during the holiday season rush. It got overlooked. The hardcore gamers acknowledged it, but the general audience didn't.
Until it started pumping out 160 Game of the Year awards.
Yeah.
Then everybody went back and played it, myself included.
Yeah.
And I did pass that up when it initially came out. Cause
oh, no, that was a day one purchase for me.
I'm tired of Rockstar games. And then they brought me back with Red Dead.
I never beat it, but I bought it.
It's so long. And there's so much. Red Dead's another fine example. That's a huge open world game with a lot to do, with a competitive multiplayer. They have all these different aspects. They pump so much onto this disc, and then...
I spent 3 hours looking for a bear, and then it killed me.
Good job.
Yeah.
Those are
Go
really
back
cool.
and kill its family.
I went back and fought it with a knife just to get the achievement.
Oh, man. Oh, another one, yeah, with Bioshock that I really enjoyed was the way that they did it with... I don't know if you guys played Bioshock 2. Anybody?
Yes.
They had... I can't even pronounce it.
I didn't play Underwater Doom.
It was
Minerva's Den.
Venus Den or whatever, where you were pretty much protect with the you were playing as the original Big Daddy, and you had to protect a little sister, and that was kind of like a horde mode as well, with an actual objective where you had to kind of stand over her and make sure she didn't get she sucked out.
She's just draining people's
Yeah.
bodies. No big deal.
I
you had to protect her
I
if she was
hate
doing it.
escort games, and that's Resident Evil 4's fault.
Well, this was just a little stupid.
I
yeah,
know what
yeah, but it was good times.
I still have to buy Resident Evil 4. Looks at audience.
Resident Evil 4, like
It's
like-
on
no,
Xbox.
on X. I was saying on
Yeah,
Xbox
yeah,
or
yeah.
like for the Wii or
It's
something.
on Xbox. No, fuck my Wii.
I've got the chainsaw controller for the PS2. Say it.
The what? Do it, Joe. The chainsaw controller.
Yeah.
Fucking nerd.
You held back so hard on that.
I know,
too.
I couldn't
you were
do
just
it.
looking at your TV.
I'm also thinking that these things, some of them are lacking a lot of substance as well. Like, I really enjoy the Killzone series, but not because of the story. Even though those are long, in-depth campaigns, they're stupid and they just swear for the sake of swearing. Or like a
No,
lot.
that's
I don't know.
Mafia 2. Guinness Book of World Records.
Is it really?
That was-
Yes, it is.
As
Most
much as I
F-bombs.
loved Bulletstorm,
It's
that
not
was
Scarface?
Bulletstorm all the way. It swore for the sake of swearing.
Yeah. These guys are just that's how it's a big multiplayer. It's a big first person shooter. It's a great campaign.
And since we're talking about first person shooters, I got to call you guys out, especially you two.
What?
How did you not mention Borderlands 2 when you were talking about what games you were looking forward to coming out this year? I'm so
Because-
disappointed.
Did I really overlook
You
that?
overlooked it.
I apologize severely. That is one of my most anticipated games. No. Didn't we say unannounced games?
No, you said games
No,
you were
because we
looking
did
forward
we
to.
did do a
Yeah.
like what we're looking for. Because I know mine was Mass Effect.
I'm going to go back on whatever I said whenever this was. I'm looking forward to Halo 4. I'm looking very forward to Borderlands 2. And I'm looking forward to the new Tomb Raider. And I'm looking forward to Bioshock Infinite.
So
Those
what
are
you're
my-
saying is 3 out of the 4 of the games are first-person shooters, but they're not your traditional war first-person shooters.
Yes. I'm going to get Medal of Honor when
And
that
let's be
comes
honest,
out.
you just want Tomb Raider because she makes weird noises when she falls.
Right.
That's where we should cut in her fall.
That's what we call a budget.
I could get audio from that. I'll do it. All right. Although the people
Wait,
listening
yeah.
will hear the fall before the decision to do the fall.
Okay.
And then you gotta leave a 10-second pause for another one. Ready?
Right now?
Yeah.
That's long enough.
See what we're talking about?
We can find it in there.
This is all sorts of Doctor Who going on right now. Doing things before they actually happen.
Now, the closing comments and closing whatever on any of this, I would just like any series you guys would like to bring up that we've brought up already. Where would you like the direction for that series to go? Any one of them?
I want Rainbow Six Patriots to be the best thing ever.
I want Call of Duty to die because I'm so sick of it.
High five.
It won't.
It won't.
It won't, but I think it'll reach the level of Madden and Guitar Hero where it's gonna be so watered down and it's gonna burn itself out.
Bargain
They're
bin.
gonna have bargain bin, and they're gonna have no choice but to rethink and start over again and actually make a decent game out of it.
Somebody needs to dethrone them first for
Yeah.
all that to happen.
The closest you're going to get is EA, obviously, because they're the biggest. Well, I think they're bigger than Activision, but Activision's bigger because they have the only two IPs that matter.
Ubisoft is going to come back really hard this year, though.
Well,
They
Ubisoft's
have-
the third biggest. So.
Yeah, they got Advanced Warfighter. No, it isn't Advanced. No, it is Advanced Warfighter, and then Rainbow Six for next year.
They got Assassin's Creed coming out this year too.
They always
It's not
do,
first
though.
person, but yeah, they got big games.
I'm
coming
very
out this year.
disappointed with Revelations. I played that this week.
Well-
But that's a different topic.
They could always do a first-person Splinter Cell. Also,
No.
No.
Well,
What
wait,
is
no,
with you
wait.
and making all this shit
no.
first person?
Wait a minute.
Old
Wasn't
Splinter Cell
one of
fan.
the older Splinter Cells? It was the Spies versus Mercs, right?
You were first person when you were the
Merc.
opposition. Yeah.
They could do something like that again for a multiplayer.
Well, that was their
cool.
multiplayer always.
Yeah. Well, the newer one didn't have it.
Oh yeah, that's true. They didn't have Mercs back.
Yeah. He has no idea what we're
I-
talking
that-
I'm a
about.
big
this is
Splinter
something-
Cell fan, so we're just nerding out.
This I don't know.
No,
but
you know what I would like to see is I want them to redo Gears of War 1, 2, and 3, but from the Locust side.
I loved playing the Locust in 3. That was
I think-
the best parts of the game for me.
I think that's where they're going to have to go, is because the Gears universe is so big. You were just focusing on Marcus's and Dom's story for the first. They can branch off in so many different directions.
I'd
That was
play
just
as Ram.
their one squad.
Do you see the cheesy smile on my face?
Yeah,
'Cause
I know.
there's so much more besides just the Locust that they can do. There was an 80-year war that took place before E-Day.
Yeah.
And there's so many important people that were in that war that you only heard about for a split second.
Yeah, Microsoft isn't dumb enough to let the Microsoft. They only
Epic's
have.
not dumb enough to walk away from that franchise.
Yeah, we were talking about this the other week too. That Microsoft has a dying amount of IPs. They're not going to let one of their biggest franchises just stop because
they think the story's over.
Yeah, I mean, there's
the war's still going. I mean,
there's a whole chapter that takes place beforehand that is awesome.
yeah. All I wanted to say then for me is I want Bad Company 3 to come up because I want to see that.
that would be exciting.
That's the
Yes.
big one. I want to see that.
Not
EA
too
makes-
serious though.
Yeah, no, they'll stick with it because EA's got their 3-game cycle, which I've noticed. They're doing the Call of Duty every year release. They're just hiding it a little bit better because I think next year it will
The
be
different name.
This year you got Medal of
Same
Honor.
game, different name.
Yeah, this year you got Medal of Honor. Next year you'll have Bad Company 3. Then you'll have Battlefield 4. Then you'll revert back to your Medal of Honors. And I
don't
just
know
think they're
about
going to follow.
Battlefield 4. That might be a while.
It's going to be launch time.
Yeah,
Or one
no,
of, it'll
that'll
be.
be a couple
They,
years.
they take their time on Battlefield.
Yeah, there's only
We'll
been
see.
3 of them.
We'll see. They're
Like
money
4.
hungry now.
Well,
Then
This
again,
isn't.
it has broke into the console finally.
Yeah, this
and
isn't
made
6-7
an
years
impact.
ago. These are going to get pumped out quite often now. But
That makes me sad.
I think we got to wrap it up because we went a little over this week, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we're going to cut it off there. Thank you, everybody, for listening. This has been episode number 3.